Hey guys, just checking in from P3 land. Been struggling this P3. I don't know if I'll ever do another 40-day round again. When I got off that round, I felt somewhat depleted. So I started drinking lots of greens and eating lots of broccoli and cauliflower and kale and you name it. I've been really chowing down hard on the greens and just extra supplements. And I find that it's this week I'm feeling much better, but I think that was just a bit of a long round for my body, and I'm not convinced that my juice was solid all the way through, so I think it took a harder toll than expected. But I am feeling better and already thinking about my next round. I was going to start it shortly after Easter, but it looks like I might have more travel plans with work that take me literally in the middle of nowhere to these teeny tiny little towns. We're driving, and so I don't know if I won't be able to wing P2 on in that situation, so I'll probably have to put it off by another week or so, which is too bad because I really want to time it with Tom, and because it'll only be a 21-day round. I'm not going to do a 40-day round again. So yeah, I've been struggling a little bit with my first week of P3. The first few days of P3, I found that I was really good during the day, but at night I got a little bingier than I usually am. Usually P3 is just easy breezy, but I found myself reaching for a lot of things, sweet things outside of hunger. More chocolate delight than normal. Just a little bit of behavior that I'm not too pleased with. So I've been trying to think about that and work through that. Another thing that I'm not too pleased with is I've just been looking closely at some of the ingredients in the food that I've been eating. I tend to eat certain things when I'm out of town, and I tend to buy a few processed things, which, aren't really supposed to be that processed. So I picked up a couple bags of kale chips just because was really craving greens, and ate them. And then I was looking at the fine print ingredients and noticed that one of them was coconut sap. I'm like, really? Coconut sap and kale chips? Sugar is everywhere. It drives me crazy. I don't think there's major damage done there because there's probably more sugar in an apple than in a bag of these things, but still, nonetheless, it's there. So it's another thing off my list. And if that one thing that I definitely reached for a few times last week was a couple of Quest bars. And again, reading the fine print, I noticed tapioca starch or tapioca flour in there, and I'm like, okay, well, that's definitely not cool on P3 either. So I'm just tripping up a little bit on some of this stuff. And I had some kombucha, and again, there's no sugar in the ingredients, but if you look at the nutritional breakdown, there is sugar. So I'm like, where's this stuff coming from? So I'm having to definitely rethink, and I think it may have affected me because I am on the cusp of my LIW 2 pounds over. Just hovering there, praying to God that I don't go over because I've never done a steak day. And again, I'm actually traveling this week and for work, and I don't know how I'd even pull one off out of town. So, and then we're visiting our in-laws on the weekend, so I'll just be good and pray for the best. Another thing that really ticked me off was turns out that my greens even have starch in them. I'm just can't win. So yeah, I've been struggling a little with finding some of this crap in my food that's outside of what we should be eating. And I think I'm also struggling mentally a little bit too. I thought last year was hard. This has been like the hardest year of my life, I swear, just emotionally. Trying to figure out what's next for my husband and I after being unsuccessful with our IVF, after 5 years of going in one direction. It's really hard to shift in a new direction. So just still working through that. I feel like I'm finally at a point where I'm ready to look forward and reset and reestablish some goals, but there's still a lot of sorrow and a lot of sadness in my heart. But I think maybe just trying to really actually spend some time in figuring out, well, what's next? What are we going to do now? I think it's time. So I think that that's been weighing heavy on me for months, and it still is, maybe not quite as heavy, but I think it's definitely also contributing to some of my emotional eating, and definitely what I've noticed in this P3 is I'm eating more out of hunger than I ever have before, and I need to nip that in the butt before I lose all my losses. It was a hard round, and I really don't want to give up those pounds to emotional eating. It's just not worth it, but man, I'm struggling. So yeah, I just thought I would pop in, say hi, keeping it real. It is what it is, blah, blah, blah. Sorry guys, I'm kind of in a bit of a down mood right now, but such is life, and onward, at least I would say. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.